Luka Doncic, the MVP? At the start of this season, that sounded crazy, but now it might be the only answer. And I'm not just saying that because he's playing great. I'm saying it because when you look at the full story of the season, it might be the strongest MVP case in the entire league. But let's rewind, because this didn't start pretty. The 2025-2026 season didn't start how Luka wanted. He gets traded from Dallas, expectations are through the roof, and everything just feels off. New system, new teammates, new coaching style, and that matters more than people think. We're talking about a player who had the ball in his hand almost every possession in Dallas, now adjusting to different spacing, different roles, different timing. And early on, it showed. The numbers were still good because it's Luka, but they weren't MVP level yet. The efficiency wasn't fully there, the chemistry looked awkward at times, and most importantly, the team wasn't dominating. And when your team isn't winning at a high level, you're not in the MVP conversation. So for the first stretch of the season, Luka Doncic looked human. Not bad, not washed, just not MVP Luka. Off the court, Luka was dealing with a divorce, something that clearly could have affected his focus and mental state. That's real life. That's not something you can just ignore. That kind of situation can detail a season for most players. We've seen stars fall off from way less. We've seen guys lose rhythm, lose confidence, lose entire seasons dealing with personal issues like that. But Luka, instead of folding, he used it as fuel. And sometimes in sports, that's where greatness comes from. When everything around you is unstable and you lock in anyway. And that's where everything changed. Because once 2026 hit, Luka flipped. And I don't mean he just got a little better. I mean he turned into one of the most dominant players in basketball. We're talking full takeover mode. The type of stretch where every game feels like he's controlling everything. Since the new year, he's been putting up MVP level numbers, around 30 plus points, 9 rebounds, and 9 assists per game, doing everything on the floor. And it's not just the numbers, it's how he's doing it. He's controlling the pace of the game. He's reading defenses like a veteran quarterback. He's hitting step backs, finishing through contact, finding shooters, controlling the tempo. Everything. He's basically running the entire offense by himself. And in his last 10 games, he's been even crazier. Roughly 32 to 33 points, around 10 assists, and nearly double-digit rebounds on efficient shooting with clutch performances almost every night. We're talking late game buckets, game control, double teams that don't even matter. This isn't just good. This is best player in the world type production. And the craziest part, he's climbed all the way into the top 3 of the MVP ladder, sitting right behind Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and right there with Nikola Jokic. Think about that. At the start of the season, he wasn't even in the conversation. Now, he's right there at the top. So who is he competing with? Because this isn't a weak MVP race. This is one of the most stacked races we've seen in years. In number 1, we have Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, around 31 points, 6 assists, 5 rebounds. Elite efficiency, elite defense, and leading one of the best teams in the league. This is the biggest competition Luka has right now. Winning matters, and Shai's team is winning a lot. In number 2, Luka Doncic, around 30 plus points, 9 rebounds, 9 assists. One of the highest usage rates in the NBA, carrying his team every single night. In number 3, Nikola Jokic, about 28 points, 12 rebounds, 10 assists. A literal walking triple-double. The most efficient superstar in the league and always in the MVP conversation. Some honorable mentions are Giannis Antetokounmpo, around 30 points, 11 rebounds, 6 assists. Number 5, Victor Wembanyama, around 24 points, 10 rebounds, and elite rim protection. This is not an easy race. Every single one of these players has a real argument. Because when we talk about MVP, it's not just about stats. If it was just stats, we could hand it out based on a spreadsheet. But MVP is about 3 main things. Number 1, individual dominance. Number 2, team success. And number 3, value. And value is the hardest one to define, but also the most important, because value means what happens when you're not on the court. Take Luka off his team, everything changes. The offense slows down, shot creation disappears, the entire system breaks. Put Luka back in, everything flows through him. He controls tempo. He creates open shots. He bends defenses. He doesn't just play in the system. He is the system. And that's what makes his MVP case so strong. When Luka is on the floor, his team plays like a playoff team. When he's off, they struggle to generate offense. That gap, that difference, that's value. And not every MVP candidate has that same level of impact. And in today's NBA, there's another factor, the 65-game rule. If you don't play enough games, you can't win MVP, no matter how good you are. And Luka, he's right in that range. Still eligible, still playing, still producing, which means his case is still fully alive. Now, compare that to someone like Shea. Shea has been incredible, efficient, consistent, winning games. But his team is also more balanced. Jokic, same thing. Incredible numbers, but a very structured system around him. Luka, he has the ball more, he creates more, he carries more responsibility, and that matters. But there's one thing that could hurt him, the technical fouls. Luka has a history of arguing calls, getting frustrated, and letting emotions take over. And look, that passion is part of what makes him great. It's part of what fuels his intensity, but it can also hurt him. Because over a full season, those techs add up. You get closer to suspensions, you risk missing games, you create narratives that voters might not like. And in an MVP race this close, that stuff matters more than people think. So let's look at the full story again. He starts the season slow, gets traded, struggles to adjust. Off the court, dealing with personal adversity. Then 2026 hits, and he completely takes over. Climbs the MVP ladder, puts up insane numbers, carries his team. And now, he's right there at the top of the race. That's not just a great season. That's an MVP story. Because MVP isn't just about being the best player, it's about the journey, the impact, the value. And Luka Doncic, he has all of it. So the question isn't, can Luka win MVP? It's, how do you give it to anyone else?